Hi guys, Aaron here and welcome to the workshop. So now cyclocross season is in full swing and I've talked about getting a new spare bike already for cross and to be honest I have basically everything I need for the build right now except the frame and the seat mast, which will come from Trek, so it will be the same Trek Boon frame set that I already use. I don't think it would be very wise to have two different bikes, although the build on this one will be quite different and I would say a bit more cross specific because the bike I have already, well, that also has a power meter and tubeless wheels and different features to enable it basically to do more than cross racing. But since now I will have two, this one can be completely dedicated to cross. So here are the components I'm going to use, and they're basically all different from my current bike. So let's start on the left here. So the things that are going to be the same are the through axles. So I'm going to use these Robert Axle Project flush through axles for that bike as well, simply because, well, I don't like those hideous large bulky levers and whenever I think about them it makes me a bit sick. So yeah, I'm going to use these very nice and light ones. And some of you have asked, well, okay, but in cross where you might need to change wheels, wouldn't this be slower to change? Well, not actually. If you're a bit trained, then this can be even quicker. And on the other hand, if you have two bikes, it's always quicker to change the bike than to change the wheels. And if you change your bike, then your mechanic, however clumsy he is, he still has at least half a lap to change your wheels if something goes wrong on the other bike, so which stays in the pits. So yeah, not a problem. Then another thing, this one is a little bit of a detail really, but the Boon comes as stock with a very tall headset cap and it doesn't allow me to get in my preferred position, and I already have a lower headset cap on my current bike, so in order to get the fit as close as possible I have to use it on this bike as well, and it's the same Cane Creek Carbon IS41 top cap. It also comes with an upper bearing, could come in handy for the muddy races. So yeah, this is the headset top, so that's a little detail. Then of course for the bottom racket I'm going to use the Kogo ceramic BB90 with cross seals. Also has the spacer for the GXP crank. So yeah, this is the same that I have on my current bike. Then another thing that's going to be the same are the pedals, of course. That's kind of a requirement. Let me just open this one. So these are the brand new XTR M9100 pedals. I also have some 9000s on my mountain bike, but these are the real deal. I've used three different kinds of pedals before, but I reckon, for me at least, these are the fastest pedals for cross. They're not super light. There are other lighter pedals, they're cheaper pedals, perhaps they're more durable pedals or anything, but I find that these are the very fastest to clip in and out of, which is important for cross, and particularly for me because my dismounts are still a bit clumsy. So yeah, I can only recommend these pedals for cross. And now with the new design the mud clearance is improved, and since there's no logo on the outside of the pedals it doesn't clash as much with my otherwise SRAM equipped bike. So a big thumbs up for these pedals. Definitely one of my favorite components right now. XTR 9100s. Then as for the saddle, I had this pretty much as a leftover from my current bike. I have a Berg saddle on there right now, so yeah, I have this lying around, nothing wrong with it, so I'll just use it. At least it gets used. And then, well, now basically we can discuss the parts that are going to be different. So the cranks, I've talked about this earlier, but for cross, power measurement, at least in racing, is not really important, because, well, it's kind of erratic really, and you don't pace by power in cross at any point, I would say. So yeah, you just basically go as hard as you can for 1 hour, and you have all these tiny accelerations which last a couple of seconds but are very intense, and yeah, you just don't really get a good idea of your progress by looking at your power in cross. So I decided to save a little bit of weight and also some money, and went for, possibly for the first time since I'm making YouTube videos anyway, for the first time I went for a non-power equipped crank. And yeah, this is a very nice unit. It's a SRAM Exogram red crank, and unfortunately the tracks don't fit a BB30 axle, because otherwise that will be the lightest, but the GXP version is still pretty light, and it has this in-molded spider in there. As you can see, this naturally comes with road chainrings. I'm going to change those to a 1x setup. So I already have a 40-tooth X-Sync ring, so that will go on there, and I can just sell the 5236 away. I intentionally got this combination because it's easy to sell, it's very popular right now, so that's no accident. Yeah, so this is the propulsion sorted. Then for the group set, on my current bike I have SRAM Force 1, which works alright, although sometimes on really bumpy courses I think that having double tap on there isn't really ideal. And yeah, perhaps this is the reason why Wout van Aert uses E-tap, because, well, you just basically have two pedals, you can't miss it, or it's just impossible to get wrong. With Force 1, a couple of times it has occurred to me that yeah, I just misshifted unintentionally on bumpy stuff, particularly on entrances to corners, where you have carrying a lot of speed and you have braking bumps or just some other kind of bumps. And yeah, sometimes it's not easy. And also because of the mechanical group set, when it's really muddy, it can just clog itself up. And electronic group sets are basically impervious to that. So that's another reason. But the main thing for me with this E-tap HRD thing is not really about the shifting, because otherwise the shifting quality of the Force 1 setup is excellent. But for me the biggest thing is possibly the brakes, because these have SRAM's latest brake design, which, well, the caliper isn't changed much, so yeah, the caliper is still basically the same, but you get a whole new lever which has bite point, reach and contact point adjustments. Well, two of those are the same, so yeah, you know what I mean. And particularly why I'm excited about that is, well, on basically all of the older hydraulic road brakes, when you are in the hood's position, you don't really have much brake force available because the lever starts to contact the rotor too far in, and there's really no way of adjusting that. It's not possible to adjust on the Shimano RS785s that are over there on the 3T, and there's no way to adjust that on the Force 1, so that's kind of annoying. You can of course dial in your reach all the way out, but that's not really a good option for me because I have small hands and the hydraulic levers are bigger by design, so it's kind of inconvenient because particularly in some descents where I don't have enough time beforehand to put my hands in the drops and I have to descend on the hoods, there's just not enough brake power, from this position. So with these brakes, I think I should be able to dial that. So I'm more confident in that respect. And also, the shifting, nice big pedal with a good feedback. I love that from the road group already. This is pretty much the same, and impossible to miss a shift. So these were the reasons I wanted to try E-Tap HRD, and also it's on sale right now at my distributor, so win-win. So you get two of these complete brake systems, and of course the front and rear mech. The front one, well, I'm not going to use that, only the rear one. Is the Wi-Fi version as well. Charger, dongle, etc. So standard E-Tap stuff. And interestingly, you also get some very sweet centerline rotors with this group set. And well, actually I already have rotors on all my wheels, these very same rotors, so I'll just save some money again and just sell these off. I wasn't actually aware they come with the rotor, or sorry, the group set comes with the rotors. Okay, so this is the braking and shifting covered. And now let's talk about the finishing kit / cockpit thing. So from this darkness of this box, I think you've guessed that this is some MV stuff. So let's look at the bar first. On my current bike I'm using the Bontrager XXX bar and stem combo, which is very nice. I really like that. Although sometimes I feel it's a bit harsh. I don't know if it really is or it isn't, but what I know for sure is that MV bars and stems are extremely compliant because I have that on my Madonna and I love it, and for cross particularly it can really come in handy. And also now the Trek has changed their distribution model for Slovakia. I don't have such good prices anymore, so this was better price wise as well. So these MV components better than, or a bit cheaper than, the XXX bar and stem, also a bit more adjustable. So anyway, this is the MV Road bar. It's a pretty fancy piece of kit, very light. Actually the XXX combo is super light at around 260 grams, but this bar and stem just 40 grams or so more, so no big deal. It has these MV bar and plugs like on the Aero version of the bar. It has compact geometry. I wanted to go for that in cross so I can change hand positions a bit quicker. It has a bit of flair to it, nothing extreme, but useful in cross. The top section, that's not really important for me. I rarely use that. It has these nice grooves so you can hide the cables neatly, front and rear, although there won't be too many cables with the E-Tap version. This is a 42 centimeter, so it's pretty much the same as on the XXX bar. and in the drops it's the same as well. Where it's a bit different is the reach. The drop is 2 millimeters more, so I don't think that's noticeable. The reach is 6 mil shorter, actually. And I want it to be as close as possible. And to be honest, it's a bit of an oversight from my side. The Bontrager has 85 mils of reach, so that's 6 mil of difference. And I have the same stem length, but to be honest, it's not a big deal. And yeah, I'm just not that picky about positions. It's a couple of millimeters here and there, and I'm just really looking forward to testing the MV bar. So yeah, no big deal. Then let's look at the stem. This is also a very nice unit indeed. Neatly packaged. Yeah, I really like this matte black finish with the gloss decal that MV are now using, although perhaps a white logo would match the bike as well. So this is a full carbon stem, one of the few such like stems on the market. It's not extremely light like some other models, but it's supposed to be very stiff and also quite compliant. From the reviews, it's a 110, so same as on the Bontrager. It uses a very complicated layup from what I've heard, and it has this nice clamp design. And another neat feature of this stem is actually the computer mount. This is the version 2, so it's improved. The earlier version had some flaws apparently. Yeah, so this is the one I'm going to use. You can also notice that it comes with a Garmin mount as standard, of course, but now I'm sure you know that I'm using Wahoo. So is that a problem? Well, not really, because the mounts aren't all that different. And you can actually see there are 2 notches here in the mount itself, and you can rotate the insert. So the way I have rotated it now, it actually fits the Wahoo and holds it securely. So they make a Wahoo specific insert now. I don't know what's the difference there, but this one works just fine. So yeah, this is the computer mount and should be sturdy and reliable for cross. Although I've yet to figure out how to transform my computer between bike changes, or should I just put it in my pocket or something at the start of a race. I'm not really looking at it during the race much anyway, so yeah, we have to figure it out. But anyway, I have the means to carry it. Okay, so these are the things that I have prepared for my cross bike build, or the cross race bike build. So I'm sure it will be a pretty nice bike. I just hope that the frame will arrive soon, so for my next race I can go full on and have a spare bike as well. Okay, so this has been my first look on all these components. I hope you have found this information useful, and if you want to know more about the other bikes that I use or some customer bikes that I will work on, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.